Hey, we are live. We're late, but we're live. Let's get things ready here. Hey there. Sapphire Rich News, and we are live. So, the topic we have today is called StarGate. And at first, you may think, well, Stargate, like to the heavens or what? But no, this is actually a very interesting thing, and it will revolutionize our medical industry 100%. The leaders of Oracle, um, OpenAI, and the Japanese company from called, I think it's called SmartSoft or something like that. They have banded together and they have created a new AI software that has the ability to not only speed up tests, but they can use AI to create, instead of chemotherapy, a cancer vaccine that is specific to your body. They can use AI and they can target just the cells, just the cancer cells, and within 48 hours have a vaccine that will cure cancer. This is huge. This is huge. And also, one of the things that they're going to do is have the ability for, say, a doctor up here in Montana on the Fort Peck reservation to be able to talk to a doctor, say, in New York at Johns Hopkins or in Nashville at Vanderbilt. And in real time, one doctor can say, hey, I just treated this patient. This is what I did. This is the results, and give them real time answers instead of having to take the test, then wait a week and get the results. You'll have the results within 48 hours. That's huge. That is just huge because we have, oh, and that company from Japan, they're investing $500 billion into this. $500 billion. That's a half of $1 trillion. They've already started building their first building in Abilene, Texas. Guess how big? 10 million square feet. I did some Google math. That's equivalent of 239 acres. 239 acres for one building. And the goal is to have because AI uses a lot of power. So the goal is to have them create their own power. This is huge. This will put us light years ahead of every other country in the world. Let's get some things changed here. Well, let's do the banner first. Oh, I gotta fix that. Hold on. Get that going and change the background. And might as well fix this while we're fixing stuff as we go. We're on the fly today, as they say. We are working on the fly today. But we got her going, didn't we? We got her going. Moving on the fly today, people. But StarGate will be a wonderful thing for our country. It will put us light years ahead of the rest of the world, like I was starting to say, in medical industry. Yeah, kind of got things messed up today. The other one should be at 6 o'clock Eastern this tonight. But Stargate is an amazing thing that's going to happen to the medical field. Um, it was announced yesterday. I think it was yesterday morning. The past couple of days have been a blur, you know. Um, but Oracle and OpenAI, and I think it's called SmartSoft, something soft from Japan, have created a company called StarGate. OpenSoft, or not OpenSoft, SmartSoft, I think it's called, is investing $500 billion. Hey, Brooklyn, welcome. I got started a little bit late, so you didn't miss much, but I was just starting to tell Julianne, SoftBank, that's it. I knew it was soft something. SoftBank and Oracle and OpenAI have created a new company called StarGate, and it will be a new form of AI that will be used to revolutionize the medical field. Yes, Sam Altman and Ellison and Oshie. Oshie, now this is key. Remember last month, Oshie said that he was going to invest $100 billion. Yesterday, he announced he's investing $500 billion. The building in Texas is already being created. It's 10 million square feet. So I did some Google math. That is that is 269 acres for one building. And the what they're going to do, they're not doing robotics, as far as I know. What they're doing is they're using AI to create uh, vaccines that will replace chemotherapy. That instead of using chemotherapy, this is the thing. They're going to build their own electric capacity. They're going to be self sufficient. They're not going to take electric from the grid. They're going to create their own electric. But um, some of the things that they're going to do is they're going to replace chemotherapy. They're going to use AI to do a genetic map of your body. That's the best way I can describe it. And like, say you have cancer, they will use a blood test and do this genetic map of your body, and they will within 48 hours they will be able to create a vaccine that will cure your cancer. They said treat your cancer. And they said that instead of taking years and years and years to treat your cancer, having you go through rounds and rounds of chemotherapy to kill all the cells, that AI can target only the cancer cells and create a vaccine within 48 hours that will treat only the cancer cells. That's huge. That I know tons of people that won't take chemotherapy because they don't want to kill their whole body. You know what I mean? They don't want to kill off their whole body by taking this poison because chemotherapy is basically poison. but they're going to use AI to be able to treat just the cancer cells. Right. Right. And as far as I know, AI takes a lot of energy, doesn't it, Brooklyn? It's what I would call energy intensive. See, this is another problem. We have to be able to make chips here instead of relying on chips in China, in Taiwan, and elsewhere. Yeah, they're they said they're going to be creating new data centers that are, I think they call them macro data centers. One data center, the building is 269 acres. That's huge for one building. And they said that the original plan, when Oshie first was going to invest $100 million, was to have 10 buildings. But now that he's upped it to 500 billion, they're going to do 20 buildings, and that they already have got started building the building in Abilene. So I wonder if they're going to build their own chips on site, and that's why they need such a big building. This stuff just fascinates me, you know? We've been second fiddle to the technology world on chips and stuff because for far too long we've been relying on chips to be made overseas. I think we should make them here. Yeah, yeah, StarGate. I thought that's a cool name. I thought at first when they said Stargate, I thought, wow, are you going to harness the stars or something? Yeah, something else interesting that Trump said is that the Delta in Northern California, you know, right? I'm surprised that, well, I'm not surprised because Altman is involved. Altman and Elon hate each other. Um, but the Delta in California the water used to run through Central California, through Central California, and then Gavin Newsom got worried about the Delta smelt, and he put in like a valve, that instead of the water going to Central California, the water goes out to the ocean. And I guess it's just millions and millions of gallons every day goes right out to the ocean. I think that's crazy. Right. Yeah, they said it went through Central California, through the forests that now catch on fire, that before they did that wasn't such a bad fire. And now they divert the water out to the ocean and California's on fire and they can't figure it out. One of the congressmen, and I don't like when they do stuff like this, one of the congressmen said that if they want their aid, they have to allow forestry management, real forestry management. They have to allow the water from the delta to flow down through Central Valley like it always did before. I don't like when they use tragedies to do stuff like that. You know what I mean? The first one is going up in Abilene, Texas. It's already being built. Yeah, I guess Trump is supposed to fly to California on, I think they said Friday. Tonight, I'm doing a stream tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, and there's some shenanigans going on with Vivek. It deserves a whole stream, but I'll give y'all a little tidbit. Um, Vivek is being pushed out of Doge, and there's reasons why, and I'll explain everything. What do you mean he never came back? That's not true, Brooklyn. Vivek and JD are best friends. Jude- Vivek introduced JD to JD's wife when they were in law school together. They've been friends since law school. But there's a whole set of circumstances behind. So I wonder why he didn't come back. He always comes back, you know what I mean, Julianne? But y'all are going to be surprised when I tell you what's going on with Vivek. Some of it is not Vivek's fault. Some of it is. Um, there's a lot going on there. Yeah, it has to do with Vivek running for governor of Ohio, but Vivek was stabbed in the back by DeWine. He was literally stabbed in the back. So was Trump. We'll talk about it all this evening because there's a lot going on. There's a lot to cover, and it deserves its own stream. Yeah, Candace is pretty good. I like Candace. There is a lot for us to talk about regarding Vivek, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Um, I always screw up this girl's last name. Emily Jasinski did a podcast this morning, and I'll tell you all about that too. Yeah, I like Justice Served. You know, um, Linda Kenny Bodden is Dr. Bodden's wife. Oh, Doug and Ashley were on. Yeah, I'll have to watch it. I like Ashley Merchant. I like Doug too, but some things went on between him and Max, and he made a big deal of it. And he should have just moved along instead of whining and complaining about it. And right, Bill Spector's lawyer was Linda Kinney. Linda Kinney is Dr. Michael Bodden's wife, um, the famous Dr. Bodden. And the stream tomorrow, if I can get everything together, is going to be an update, another update on JFK because today at 3 o'clock Eastern, yes, medical examiner Bodden. Linda Kinney is his wife. Um, Today at about 3 p.m., President Trump is signing the executive order to release all the Kennedy files. They're releasing he's supposed to sign the executive order today to release all the Kennedy files. And I really liked yesterday when he put that one reporter in his place when he signed the pardons of the J6ers, and the reporter tried to bash him for it. He said, "Wait, wait, wait." He said, "President Biden pardoned actual murderers. Did you complain about that?" He said, "Well, I didn't think so." He said, "We have murderers in California that don't get charged. Did you complain about that?" And the guy was like, he said, "So don't sit there and complain to me about me pardoning people that are in jail, most of them who only walked in the doors of the Capitol after the Capitol Police opened the doors, and they have been given prison sentences of over 10 years for walking in the Capitol doors." He said, "No, we're not going to do that anymore." And I thought, good, somebody, the adults are finally back in charge. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like Peter. Peter is the best. The stuff that Peter put up with from Corinne Jean Pierre the last 4 years is just crazy, ain't it? Well, that's what Biden did. Biden did what they called preemptive pardons. Biden did what are called preemptive pardons, pardoned his entire family, pardoned Mark Milley, Liz Cheney. But the crazy thing about that is if they reinstate Milley in the military and do basically a court martial, right, it's supposed to be a federally charged crime, but Biden did, he called them preemptive pardons. These people never been charged with a crime and they got a pardon. How does that work? He pardoned Liz Cheney. He pardoned Dr. Fauci. He pardoned General Milley. And some of them will get challenged, right? Um, yeah, all of the 51 who signed the false letter on the laptop lost their security clearance. That's a good thing. last night on the mainstream media. Oh, they were boo-hoo whining and crying about the right. He signed the pardon in the middle of Trump's speech. So that means he wasn't president. He had no pardoning power. You know, some of these pardons will get challenged. I saw a thing yesterday afternoon saying that some of these will get challenged because if he signed it at 12:09 p.m., then it's not valid. Right. And the thing about the pardon for Fauci, it went back all the way to 2014 when they first started doing gain of function research. He was the inventor of, well, I don't trust Justice Roberts. Amy is kind of wishy washy. Sometimes she's on our side, sometimes she's on their side, which I think is kind of weird, which I think is kind of weird. But the rumor is that Thomas and Alito want to resign, want to retire, not resign, retire. Right. When Trump explained why we were pulling out of WHO, I was actually shocked that they've been getting away with that all these years. You know, China has 3.4 billion people, and they pay like $50 million. We have 330 million people, and they charge us 500 million. What's wrong with that picture? You know, how are they getting away with taking us to the cleaners all this time? I had to explain to my middle brother, right? My middle brother didn't think executive orders were law. He thought they were signed and then that Congress had to sign a bill to make it law. And I said, no, that's not how that works. An executive order is actually law the second it's signed. The caveat is that an executive order can be undone by the next president with another executive order. Right. And I like that Trump is going after the deep state. Yesterday, he signed an executive order basically firing 1,000 people in the deep state. He also signed an executive order eliminating every DEI department in the entire government, and that the people could be transferred to another department or they could be laid off with, but he did it with pay. Right. And here in Montana, um, back in the fall, they they banned the use of red dyes in food because red dye is in everything. Right. I think he froze hiring, but he also eliminated the DEI departments across the government. And they said that in the executive building that there was people that were mass exiting. And the Senate Judiciary Committee is playing games with Bam Bondi's nomination. So surprisingly, John Thune, which he's a conservative sometimes and a rhino sometimes, but he is standing up for the MAGA base. Yeah, and he told them, okay, you want to play games? Then we are going to be open around the clock until all of President Trump's nominees are voted on and confirmed. He said, so don't plan on making a dinner date Friday night or Saturday night or Sunday night because you're going to be right here. Which I thought, wow, that's a surprise. If Pam, see, Pam Bondi went through her hearing and did very well, and they scheduled her confirmation vote for January the 29th. She had her hearing last week. He can use recess appointments, but only if the Senate goes into recess for 10 days or longer. And John Thune, who's the new Senate Majority Leader, Republican, told the senators, right, once she's voted out of the Senate, that's her confirmation hearing, or her confirmation rather, because it goes right from the committee right to the floor of the Senate to be voted on. And John Thune is upset that they did that. So he told them yesterday, okay, you want to play games? The games are afoot. We are staying open and working on nothing but President Trump's nominations starting tomorrow, which would be today, 24 hours a day. We will be open 24 hours a day. So don't plan on going to dinner, making dinner plans Friday night, Saturday night, or Sunday night because we are going to be right here working. And the whole thing is over stupid Jean, I think Jean Shaheen, she filed an objection on the Senate floor to Pam Bondi's nomination. So John Thune said, until she is confirmed, we are working around the clock, which I was surprised that he did that because he's not noted for having a conservative spine, if you know what I mean. He's a conservative sometimes, I call him. He's not really a rhino, but in between a rhino and a conservative, if you know what I mean. Right. Rubio is how it was supposed to be done. They're voted out of committee. It goes right to the floor for a full vote, and they're confirmed. They deserve an up or down vote on the floor. So that's what I got for y'all today. Well, this afternoon. We'll be back at 6 o'clock to talk some more. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye now. Let's do this first. See you later, Julianne. See you later, Brooklyn.